Hello everyone, thank you for tuning into today's Words of Wisdom. Today's is from April 19th, and I quote, "Parents and children have a deep spiritual connection." From Tips to Find Happiness by Master Ryuho Okawa. Thank you, Master. All right, this is truth. Every Words of Wisdom we learn is truth. It's not just an observation, it's not just a theory, it's truth that comes from God's teachings. And God is teaching us that parents and children have a deep spiritual connection. In Happy Science, Master has taught us a spiritual view of life. And before we're born, we set up a brief life plan that is most suitable for our soul training in this lifetime, so that let's say that there is a karma that you want to reap from a past life, you make a scenario in this lifetime so that you can go through the certain, maybe a similar kind of situation, so that either you won't make the same mistake, or so that you can continue to develop into a greater soul by going through the same experience again. Or facing a totally different experience, like maybe the complete opposite as you did in the last lifetime, so that it enriches your soul's experiences. Whatever it is, we make a life plan. And if we make a life plan, that means, obvious biology, to be born here on earth, you have to have a father and mother, two sexes, male and female, and they produce an infant. And in that infant's body, in the 9th week, usually the 9th, was it the 9th week? Yeah, usually the 9th week, your soul enters that body. So this is the spiritual mechanism that Master has taught us. And if that is the case, that means you don't just randomly get swallowed into some mother's fetus. It doesn't work like that randomly. It's actually planned out. Meaning, before you're born, even before your parents are born actually, in the spirit world, you speak to your parents' souls, kind of like bowing to them, I guess, in a Japanese culture, but I guess in an American culture, shaking hands with them and saying that, "I'm going to be your child in this lifetime. Let us work together to refine each other's souls." This is the reality that occurs before being born in the spirit world. Which means you chose your parents, and your parents chose you as their child. And if you start thinking from this perspective, yes, as today's Words of Wisdom has stated, we have a very, very deep spiritual connection with our parents. What about cases where, let's say that you were adopted and you don't know anything about your biological parent? If that's the case, your foster parent or the parents that, I guess, adopts you, in that case, there's also a deep spiritual connection between them too, between you and your father or mother who raised you. So that is also another form of life scenario that you could have built or you could have drafted before you were born. So either way, if it's biological or not, if your guardian who takes care of you, you have a deep spiritual connection. And why is this teaching so important? This means that I know there is so many sufferings out there between the strife and bad human relationships between the parents and children. But if you go back to this truth, it means that there's a vital lesson behind that pain. The pain of not being able to understand each other, the pain of fighting with each other. This was actually sort of planned out before you were born. So instead of escaping that situation, you start taking a very proactive attitude towards a relationship with your parents or with your children, which is, what is the workbook of life, workbook for my life, the lessons that I'm supposed to learn from this situation? That way of looking at a relationship with your parents or with your children is a very constructive way to truly solve, not just solve the issue, but to learn what you were supposed to learn. In Happy Science, there are many members who have children with disabilities. That's tough on both sides, right? But there are so many testimonies here at Happy Science where the parents with a children with a heavy disability was able to find real happiness, and they found out that their children was there to teach them what love is, what the true form of love is. And there's many different types of testimonies. You can read it in our monthly magazines. Maybe you've taken some seminars. But the conclusion that I want to get to is by looking at life with this perspective of truth, you will be able to find the light in that dark tunnel that you're going through with that sour relationship within your family. So give it a shot and try to look at your life from this new spiritual perspective. I'm sure you'll find the ladder of salvation coming and given to you from heaven. To end this video, let me quote it again. Parents and children have a deep spiritual connection. From Tips to Find Happiness by Master Okawa. Thank you very much. And see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.